Well, let me get the introductions quickly out of the way, because some new people do step in and they're like, wait, who is who? What is what? The basic gist is that Nora was helping Aaron Smith-Levin with his YouTube channel. And again, it was basically for mutual advantage. Aaron would promote Nora, and Nora would promote Aaron. So even though Nora knew, even worked with some of these people like Claire Headley, Mike Rinder, so on and so forth, she backstabbed them and sided with Aaron. And for a while, they were doing this endless propaganda campaign. But last year, Aaron basically threw Nora out and decided to become what? A more formal alliance with Jenna Miscavige, his current mistress, girlfriend, Natalie, even Serge, who, even though Aaron is homophobic, apparently Serge is useful, but Nora is not. So Nora was kicked to the curb, and since then, she's become very critical of Aaron, but unfortunately in a very distorted fashion. Now, she does do some good things, at least helping some of Aaron's victims, but yeah, her position is pretty unprincipled. So it's really hard for me to sympathize with Nora. But I am not going to be defending myself too much in this video, even though I do think she did an attack video. And Alanzo, who runs a very controversial YouTube channel, is going to respond. I think he tackles one key feature, which I've noticed with Nora. And again, granted, a lot of the quote, and I say this with quotation marks, anti-Scientology channels do, but it's a bit of a fakery and should be called out.
To actually say something about it, and I might be off, but I know three-legged boogers. They always with support, yes. So I know why, because I do this too, right? So what happens in a person's mind, an anti-Scientologist mind, and I know this because I was one for 15 years, is that you're fighting against this enemy. And if a fact should arise that is benign or even some kind of support for a position that Scientology holds, you feel a sense of danger coming up inside of you. Like, oh my God, if somebody acknowledges this thing that's in Scientology's favor, they might win. They can't win.
Now, I don't want to distort what Alanzo was saying. So he was talking about cognitive distortions and anti-cultism and the way that anti-cultism can become very dogmatic. My position is a lot different from Alanzo. I don't think Nora is cultist. I think she's just a straight cultist. She's creating her own cult filled with fairy tales. She's giving her audience just enough truth to mislead them, but she's keeping a lot of things that would destroy her little fairy tale, and on it goes. But the record is the record, so she's stuck, right? Because the fairy tale does not match the real reality, which you can verify in a few seconds, right? So the real record shows as an adult, she entered Scientology. And her whiny excuse all the time is, I was born into it, I had no choice. And this is a serious topic. It is. So just Google Sophie Scholl for 3 seconds. For those who don't know, Sophie, who did join the Hitler Youth for a little brief time period, is now world famous for being a very young girl resisting the Nazis openly. She openly resisted against Hitler and was executed. So this is a world famous figure who for a while was never studied, right? And when she was, quote, rediscovered, she was taken apart in very partisan fashions. The communists claimed her. She became a little bit of a political football, as Nora is too, by the way. And this is why historians, anthropologists, so many different fields, sociology, political science, you go through the list, study this time period so much, both modern Germany and Germany from the earliest 20th century, because that is the question. You have millions and millions of people, same excuse. I was born a young German boy, a very young German girl, right, being bombarded with propaganda. But some people, again, granted, very small, they resisted. They exercised choice. She did. She joined the Hitler Youth and then said, nope, not for me. That's not Nora's statement at all. That's not Nora's situation. She wanted to leave when things went badly. There's no evidence that things went badly for Sophie. It's quite the opposite. She could have stayed, shut up, be silent, maybe resist, in the background here and there, No. She's like, no. As a young Christian woman, she felt a necessity to resist evil. Now, again, Sophie's an extreme case. That's a genuine hero. Most people will fail that standard. I definitely fail that standard. Very few people can match that standard of openly defying a totalitarian regime. That is very risky, and she paid with her life. I think that's Nora's dilemma, is that, okay, fine, you're telling all these horror stories. What about your complicity? And there she's like, no, 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 no. Everyone else is to blame. Her parents are to blame. The Sea Org, Aaron, but you signed the contract. You entered those buildings. And her story today is radically different from before. Before she was like, yeah, I was playing with Tom Cruise's kids. I was playing with John Travolta's kids. And then she has the audacity to say, oh, there's nothing positive in Scientology. Guys, it's all evil, 100%. All evil, evil, evil. I think most people would say, yeah, I mean, what, playing and, quote, educating, doing propaganda with a young celebrity couple is like, well, whatever, whatever. It's not good. On the other hand, is it really suffering in a torture chamber? No, no, it's not. No, it's not. Nora had a lot of time, a lot of red flags saying, is this the right thing to do to propagandize these young little kids? Well, those were her orders, and she carried them out. So John Travolta's children, Tom Cruise's children, her job was to make sure they were loyal Scientologists, which they were. They, quote, disconnected who they were ordered to disconnect. So she did her job. Then it started to turn bad, and now she's like, oh, whining all the time. And that's her prerogative. However, Alanzo's point still stands. Good or bad, not because we want to like Scientology or you're a secret Scientology. The point is, with any ideology, you have to see the good, right, the positive, to combat it. That's just being an intelligent person, right? Like, I opposed the Iraq War. Does that mean I love Saddam Hussein? No, but we have to study these things. Ba'ath ideology, Iraqi nationalism, Islamism, Al Qaeda. We have to understand these groups and organizations. The KKK. We need to study these organizations, and we need to study their appeal. We need to study from a devil's advocate position, what is it that's beneficial? Whether we like those groups or not, that is not the point. And like it or not, sometimes those groups will make valid points. Sometimes the propaganda is true. And frankly, it's not that hard to see the positive point of view. I mean, go to Twitter. There are outright positive messages about Hitler, the quote, good side of the Nazis all the time being aired out on Twitter. I've seen it. It's pretty amazing revisionism. I'm not afraid of that because I've studied the subject, so I can defeat those positions. I can concede. Yes, obviously on some issues like public health, there is massive evidence that public health improved under the Nazis. Any honest researcher would concede that. Does that make me want to turn into an Aryan? No. No, I'm not going to join the Aryan Brotherhood because the statistics with public health were really good. Right, and Stalin was really nice subsidizing films. Look him up. He was really good as a patron of very powerful, right, world famous films. Okay, so films actually flourished under Stalin. So be it. Doesn't change my mind about him. He's still a really evil dictator. You can concede the quote good side of something that's a really bad ideology and move on. Right? The bad outweighs the good, but you don't deny the good. That's just a tautology. You can't explain why anybody would join this organization. That's just pure logic. Period. But Nora's like, I see nothing good. Come out, I'll save you. And again, you have to be an idiot to really believe her. I mean, really, what Scientologists are running into her arm? Who are they? She doesn't name any. Again, you can hate X, Y, or Z or whatever. Fine, we, quote, all hate Scientology. What's the next step? And she doesn't provide any. Good or bad, Alanzo does. He and Gerry Armstrong have a plan to get rid of the tax-exempt status. Now, will it eliminate Scientology, the ideology? No. Is it going to impact independent Scientologists outside the official church? No. So from a deeper sense, it's like, well, they're not really fighting Scientology. They're just fighting the official church of Scientology. Right. That's all the law can do, all the law should do. If you want to spend your whole life in your private room or mansion or whatever, worshipping Stalin or Hitler or Elron or whoever, Miscavige, that is your choice. That is your human right. The law is not there to address that, nor should it. That is you. What the law can do is regulate these mass membership organizations. No more, no less. What Scientology is, the official church, it's a charity, it's a public organization that is legally recognized by the government. That's it. As such, it can be regulated. Beyond a certain point, it can't be regulated. But key aspects can be regulated, and should be, and that's about it. And Nora whining to people about her bad days in the Sea Org, that's all well and nice. Is that going to stop Scientology or get rid of its tax-exempt status? The answer is no. It's not relevant because they're going to pull out the contract and say, you signed the contract, you were there voluntarily. Now, the reality might be, oh, she was being coerced. That doesn't matter. What matters here is the law and how we can win in a legal battle. At least Alanzo and Gerry Armstrong have a legal strategy. Nora does not. So you can get high in her pipe of like, I hate Sea Org, I hate Tom Cruise. That's all well and nice, and she can rake in the money. Where are we going to go next? At least Alanzo and Gerry have a plan. Nora has no plan here. She has nothing. She just whines and whines and whines, but offers no real strategy. I'd rather go with somebody who has a strategy and is, quote, neutral on Scientology, the ideology, because it's like, all right, who cares? The issue is the church as a criminal organization. Scientology, the ideology, is another story, and Nora isn't even trying to have a philosophical refutation. You have to refute the idea as an idea. That's just a tautology. You may not like the person. I don't. I don't admire Aristotle or Hegel or Kant. It's easy to label them racist or idiots or sexist. So be it. You have to refute their arguments. That's just a tautology. It's easy to condemn the person. It's condemning the ideology on its own grounds. That's harder. If you want to do that, you got to put in the hard work of learning German, learning ancient Greek, and intelligently refuting the argument. Just doing a polemical, I have a bad feeling about Tom Cruise and Sea Org, doesn't do anything. It doesn't, and it has not so far.